kind of standard place we run what we call G-Cloud. It's basically a terminal instance that lets you work directly with scripts and directly with the services within Google Cloud itself. Something to be aware of with G-Cloud. This is what's called an ephemeral state. So there's a permanent 20 gig hard drive attached to it, but the sessions themselves only are alive for as long as you use them, and then when you release them, they let go. Now you can save whatever you're doing to your state, but we also have this. This is kind of how we do just kind of our day-to-day kind of scripting works. Here I'm actually logging in and verifying my login by following an authentication piece. I'll actually come in and be able to, let me do that. Just kind of give you guys the idea how this flows. When it asks you to sign in, what you'll eventually see is you'll see this screen, and what you're going to be doing is copying the token verification code here in order to paste that into here. So if you ever get any errors and say, hey, you're not logged in or whatever, just use G-Cloud auth login, follow this process, and then you'll just refresh where you're at. Now, the other piece that you can do if this is something that I can set up with your administrators or with Joe, is something we call Cloud Workstation. Now, Cloud Workstation is basically a method for deploying out full instances that are your instance. It has much larger storage space. It has access to more compute power, all the good stuff. Basically, a workstation is set up as a configuration. When you set up a workstation, you get access to not only naming it, you can do things such as give it different types of processors. You can, here, let me switch my cluster. Let me set to that cluster. You can actually set up a system, for example, that has GPUs if you're doing any high-end model research, or if you're looking to see how to use GPUs and TPUs in your day-to-day life. More importantly, you can pass a workstation either a custom image of your workspace, or out of the box, we have things such as our base OSS for workstations, which I'll be using today, IntelliJ, a Python editor, WebStorm is an Angular React editor, as well as several other types of just out of the box, ready to go suite of development tools. Now, myself, when we're actually going to be working, I'm actually using a workstation I've already deployed called SOW Workstation. It's actually running right now. Within that SOW workstation, it's basically just a host for a VS Code system, which it's actually right now running Gemini CLI, which we'll talk about in just a moment. It's actually doing some troubleshooting and writing some code for me in the background as we kind of go along. Now, these are the environments where eventually that you'll wind up coding in. The simplest one is, we'll just go back to it real quick, is not only is connecting up to your terminal and then using this button in the corner called the Open Editor. And then the Open Editor will actually spin you up similar to the environment you just saw on the workstation, but just a little quicker. We'll pull us up a code assist. We'll do everything that we want to be able to see. So for example, we can actually view, let me go view, open a view. Just a second here. Open view. Gemini Code Assist. Oh, there it goes. Open Code Assist is coming in right now. Now, the way you integrate these systems using Google's OSS, it's fairly simple because it's already built in. If you're using like IntelliJ or VS Code, the standalone edition, then you do need to add the plugin in order to be able to use these tools. In addition, I also have access directly, if I come down here, to actually cloud code. I can actually connect directly to code that I have deployed out. So for example, I can actually tell it here, hey, come over, pick a particular project and connect up to it. And then that allows me direct access to whatever code I've got deployed. Now, these are the IDEs we're going to be using. When now my day-to-day work, what we'll be using is as Shiraz was just showing us, AI Studio. Now with AI Studio, just make sure that you're logged in as the same account that you'll be deploying your code with in Google Cloud environment. As before, I have the option in AI Studio. I can select what model I want to use. Let me give you guys a kind of a cool little pointer. I tend to use our newest 2.5 Pro because I get kind of deeper results and I tend to work at a more measured pace. But this context window on Gemini 2.5 Pro is only 1 million tokens. Well, only 1 million tokens is still 5 times bigger than Claude, Llama, or any of the other pieces. But what 1 million tokens covers about 600,000 lines of code. The new Gemini 2.5 Lite preview, which we just released 2 weeks ago, has a context window of 4 million tokens. Now, while this may not have as deep a research, it actually spends less time on a particular individual thinking component. It is much better at kind of giving you quicker responses. If you're dealing with prompts that are under 40 pages, I really recommend that you check out the Flashlight preview for your needs. It gives you a much, especially when you're vibe coding, which we'll talk about in just a moment, gives you a much more responsive and back and forth as you go through. And with 2.5 Flashlight, it's if you're doing basic computing tasks and basic troubleshooting, if you're not trying to design very, very complex algorithms, I find it works just as well as 2.5 Pro, which is designed for more difficult code and deep math and STEM problems, as an example. Now, as we're saying before, when you create an API key, if you're connected correctly with the accounts and have the right rights, when you create a key, you should see all your various all your projects that you're connected to here. And the one you're going to want is going to be the TextDNV AI POC-dev, because that's the project that will be connected to your Gemini Code Assist. Now, I can generate as many API keys as I want. Once it's generated, your API key is just stored here, ready to be copied for other pieces. Now, I like AI Studio because AI Studio over the Gemini Code Assist for example, inside the workstation itself, gives me more multimodal capabilities. So this particular Gemini Code Assist here can understand and ingest images from within, but I find what I do is I like to take screenshots of my logs, do a whole bunch of things visually. AI Studio really does well with that. So basically, within AI Studio, I'll give you an example of a piece. Say, for example, right now I'm working on trying to troubleshoot a particular problem of accessing this error. I can either copy the error and give it context of what's going on, but what I like to do is actually grab a full screenshot like this and ask my window, what's going on here, and then just drop that in as a full shot, and then let that think about what's going on. And because of the multimodality of Gemini, especially if you've got complex log files that are fairly lengthy, which we'll actually take a look at some of those, it's very easy to kind of just drop them in and do what it can do. Now here, for example, I didn't tell it anything about what's going on with our particular piece. It broke down, hey, you're trying to generate an SOW button. Here's the API call. You're getting a server error, and then what's going on back end. And then I can start troubleshooting this issue depending on what's going on. Now, another tool that just to be aware of out there is the straight up Gemini for Google.com. Now, Gemini is very interesting because what we can do is we can actually, let's say, generate a web form based on this document. You have what's called canvas mode. So I'm just going to upload a file. I've got a little statement of work template here that I'll use, and I just want to generate a form based upon that statement of work. This is just a PDF sample. If you look at it, it's pretty straightforward. But what it's going to do is to start analyzing it and build out the form. And now the cool thing is so it's going to start building out some web code, do its thing. But you know what? I want to see how this code actually works. Let's give us a moment to finish building. And then we can flip over to canvas mode. Just a second. With canvas mode, what you'll actually get is a live WYSIWYG style editor for HTML, for web code, for React, for Angular, for whatever you'd like. So let's go ahead and switch over to canvas mode. I'm on canvas mode. And then I think I actually have to do that again because I did this wrong. So boop, boop, and then upload that one, same one again. And now if we run this in canvas mode, it should flip over for me. Come on, canvas mode. There we go. And now what you get is you'll see the files that you're working with in a code mode. If you want to, and once it finishes developing, I can switch to preview mode. What this is useful for is if you want to do like quick prototype work. If you want to, I know I kind of got an idea what I want to do. I've got a file that's fairly complex, but I want to break it down. So, for example, that file that we just pulled over, it actually looks like. I'll show you what it looks like. It looks like this. So you can kind of see it's just a straight up document, very simple, very short, that just builds out a statement of work. And I've told it build out a web form. Now, once it finishes analyzing and building the code, give it just a second here. It's going to build out this whole web form. This includes sections for project information, scope deliverables, reporting, service level agreements, vendor response details, and so forth. Now, this particular one will only build out just the front end components. We're actually going to take a look at two items. We're going to take a look at Firebase Studio to kind of do the same task, and then a few other pieces as well. So it's finishing off that it's built off the code, and then it's actually got me a preview based upon that document, and it's built me out a full web form for a statement of work. And you can see it's pretty fully featured all the way through. Now the cool thing is, all right, is we go through this. Let's see, we got points of contacts. Can we add internal sign off for project sponsor? So I can actually just add this in natural language. Say, you know what? Add me a little bit. Add me a piece here. And so it'll go through and actually add. And then here's the updated code. Let's see. We should be able to find it here in just a second. These are just points of contacts. Let's see. Come on. And it will actually go in and we'll add the actual button in the code and on the fly redraw and revalidate the code. Now, this is useful if you're looking to, say, build more modern interfaces out of previous documents or the like. Now, understand here, what you're going to get is just the web front end, and then it's up to either the systems we're going to take a look at, or you can actually do some back-end development even in Gemini or AI Studio. I will mention that AI Studio does not yet have Canvas. It's something that we're going to put in there very soon, but just something to be aware of. Now, where we do get these type of things is we have something called Firebase Studio. Now, Firebase Studio is actually a front end for what are called Firebase. Firebase itself is kind of an easy deployment and management services offered by Google Cloud that allow you to build applications with that connect to backend services, use templates for authentication, for data control. You have various analysis components. More importantly, as you build out code, it will actually these automated systems will actually build out not only web forms but also things such as a iOS and Android interface ready to go. So where before, let's just go ahead and do this. I'll come back to what we were just looking at just a moment ago. Hold on a second. So here we have our internal form. Let's just take the same form and do this again. Create a prompt to generate this application in an AI prototype tool. And I'm just using Gemini just because it's nice and full. So say I find what I like. This looks pretty good. So I want to go ahead and build out this whole thing. And then it just gives me a little prompt. Here, create a web statement of work. Here's the fields that we want for it and all the rest. So we'll just come in, just grab all this that it wrote for me. We're not going to have to worry about too much of editing on this guy. We'll grab all that, bring it over into Firebase, paste that in there, and allow that to start prototyping. Now, what this is going to do is it's going to make out a plan to build the whole application, not just the front end, but the stack and back as well. It's going to go, okay, you're going to be making this little SOW app. We're going to make out some dynamic table generation so you can add pricing schemes. We're going to have a single page HTML. We're going to make it nice and clean. We're going to have an AI tool that suggests additions and compliance points as well. And then a few other pieces such as a read-only or document upload. Then we can do little things like change color scheme. We can change what technology stack we want to do, and then we can just prototype. Now, the cool thing here is now what's going to happen is it's going to go ahead and just start writing the whole structure for us. Now, this will take probably a few minutes to do, but you can kind of see it, put it all together, and starting to assemble the components. Now, while this is working on this, within here, you have the ability to be able to switch the code backend, which will actually switch you to kind of this interface, being able to see directly into the code itself. And then, let me let this guy keep going. And then as it finishes off, it'll also build out sample data for you to use to be able to test out the prototype, make sure it's functioning the way you want it. And then at the end of the process, we'll be able to publish the entire prototype and then begin wiring the back end into it to wire what database you want to service it, where you want to go with those components. Now, I want to stay here for just a second, and let's do this. Let's actually go over to the Firebase console itself, so you can kind of see what this is going to kind of wind up in. So within the Firebase console, let's go ahead and go to console. This is kind of the next phase from Firebase Studio. Once you're done, we'll actually be able to see projects in here. So for example, if I switch over to my development account, you can actually see all those various little applications that I've already deployed out here. And I have the ability to hop in and actually work with several components in the back end to enhance my application. So once this is done building, let's see, code. I can do such things as wire it directly into a database in the back end. I can add services such as generate a brand new schema to support it. So I need a schema to manage statements of work. And then we can actually let the Gemini and Firebase actually go out, create us a full database ready to hold all the data ingested in. Now, what we're looking at right now is relying upon forms and the like. We'll take a look in just a moment on how to bring in advanced services like DocAI, BigQuery, and the rest, because that actually becomes important when we're trying to pull in older information. But here you can see it's actually starting to build out the full schema. If I want to, I can. This is where I can modify it. I can go hop in, see the code itself if I wanted to, figure out if I want to deploy this as a full bit. Let's go ahead and deploy it out. And we're just going to go ahead and create a new MicroSQL. This is just going to set us up a small little SQL instance that allows us to kind of complete our development. And let's go ahead and put this in Dallas so we stay in the state. And we'll go ahead and submit that. They'll actually go out and start building us our back end for us, get that ready for us. Let's go take a look at our frontline code, see how we're doing. And here you can see that it's still building out the structure. But we're coming into the TypeScript for the dev instances. And then we'll come back in just a second. Let's take a look at this. Now, while this is all deploying, this is already deployed. We now have the ability to do whatever we want on the scheme itself. Here we can generate the actual operations that we'll use to tie together what's being developed in Firebase Studio into Firebase itself. Generally, what we'll want to do before doing this is we'll want to wait for the application to be deployed, and then you can actually do this with the actual application. It'll be aware of all the functions that are created on this side, and then we'll be able to automatically generate those for you here. This particular one has looked at my schema and it's actually just generated functions for my particular schema. So that's something to be aware of. That's fine. I can go away for a moment. Now, let me show you a couple other things while we're waiting for these other components to pull up. So you get a couple really cool things when using Firebase. Not only when you're building your front-end lab, then you have app or prototype, you then have the ability to modify, how your front end is going to look, the ability to add different types of authentication and authorization, whether you're going to be two-factor, SMS, or the like. In addition, you can do things such as add in various AI capabilities to analyze data, to respond and chat with customers, whatever type of logic that you want to add. In addition, there's a lot of little prompts around here that allow you to create new code with natural language, using Firebase AI to say, I want to add this feature set here, or I want to test these particular features. And that's another cool thing you can do, is that as the app is as you're working on it, as it's getting more complex, you also have access to various types of analytics. You have the crash analytics, which can look at your code, understand what's going on, be able to tell you if your code is underperforming, help you design how you want the app deployed in the cloud, if you want it to be balanced and distributable across the state, for example, or if you like to run it out of central services here. You have access to things such as deploying out code fixes to smaller groups. You can do canary testing, A/B testing, and the like. In addition, within the test lab itself, you'll have access to things such as not only interface testing, but also you can do security testing, red-blue testing, whatever you need to verify your application. Once you have everything deployed out, automatically Firebase will give you a set of analytics that are very useful, being able to see what users get into your code. All right, and then the whole point of that actually was to wait till we got to here. So it's actually finished developing my entire code base for this particular application. I need my Gemini API key, the one we were just looking at. So I'm just going to hop back over real quick to AI Studio, make sure I'm on the right account. I need to be on you, so we're in the right API key. And I'm just going to grab my key that we just developed. Now, this key is because I've added AI to this particular application. And we'll just go ahead, and you can auto-generate it, but I already have a product and a billing address attached to that. So now we have the key. Now, here's the cool thing. This prototype right now is still running locally. We haven't published it yet, but I can start exercising a little bit to make sure that's functional. So I can put in some kind of test data that I want to. Let's put that in there, that in there. Yes, I'm doing that way. Oh, one cool thing. So when it builds out this entire structure, there's going to be some things that are missed or that might cause some issues because the AI is usually building off, it's got off libraries that are changing all the time. But here's the cool thing. I have a small issue right now where there's a component is changing an uncontrolled input to be controlled. It scanned my code, noticed a problem with the form that I had. So I can either try and figure this out or it detect the error, and I can say, you know what, fix the error. And it's going to go out. It's going to start working on this particular field. It's going to go, okay, let me try fixing this error real quick. Let me figure out who the culprit is, and we'll go and fix the form for me without me really having to do anything. And we'll give that just a second. It's refining the resolution, and it's going to go ahead and update these code fixes without me having to put in too much effort here. And let's address the state. And what I find with using when using Firebase Studio, by the way, you guys have free access to Firebase Studio. You can set up to 10 deployments if you use a GCA account, and 3 if you're just using your free accounts. So this one decided to build this all in React. So it's just fixing the React error. It's just rewriting the SO form with the new input. What I find is that it's a good idea to go through and kind of twiddle the knobs on your prototype just to be sure that that all these errors are kind of taken care of before you prototype them. The reason being is sometimes you'll get, oh, I didn't quite format that field right. My React sample I used to build this off of maybe just 1 or 2 versions out of date, but it knows how to fix them and will do exactly what you're seeing here right now. All right, we'll give this just a minute to finish off. Come on, this is what I get for using a big form like a statement of work. So while this is finishing off, let's do this. Let's see. I got my AI Studio. Oh, there we go, and we're fixed. All right. So again, I can go through. I can twiddle the dial and knobs. I can see that this is functional here. This is doing its thing. We'll give it a little background. Those type of things. It's just asking us very simple questions with this web form. I can give it commands. You can see that's already built all this out with just the simple prompt that we put in at the beginning. And then we'll do that, period of performance, let's call it 1 year, and so on and so on and so forth. And none of this data I'm going to wear out. Now, the cool thing is, so this is where AI starts to get into play. So I didn't put really any details in here. So if I ask it to suggest compliance points, so I can look at it and go, I don't know what you put in here. You said test, test, test all over and over again. But here it's actually go through and recommend certain compliance points to add into the statement of work. And then we can add in such things in. This is expecting to add in images. Just add those straight in directly into the file for storage and for deployment, and so on and so forth. And now, also on this at this point right now, we really haven't added any field level validation to say this one's required, but you can do that. So, say for example, let's make the project work plan key activities field required. Just do something as simple as that, and it will actually go through, look at my code, understand what I'm referring to, and then update the code properly. And just like we did with the fix errors, you can add functionality in very quickly for that type of component. Now, there's another piece here that's really cool as well. We actually have the ability to use this anoint field, which allows us to go in, if it's built out of web form, and we can actually start to shape and ask, hey, can you build a field in this shape here? Can you do a button in this shape here? Could you add this text here? And the code will actually go through and attempt to do exactly what you want. And then once you're finished with your drawings, you can add that on. And let's see, this is almost done. It's updating the SOW right now, updating the validation logic. There you can kind of see the thinking it's doing behind the scenes. While that's going, let's just kind of scan the rest of it. You can see it actually did a pretty good job adding all these pieces in. And then you can fill in all these components to build out a pretty full and SOW. And then, since this is going to be a required field in just a moment, that's validating the implementation updates. We'll send that up, and then here comes the updates, and now the field will be required. And there we go. Come on, here comes the TypeScript. By the way, while this is doing this, I can actually flip over to here. It's just doing that all in the back end. And then just as you saw before, here's your actual application components, all the layout, the pages, all the code it created. You actually have direct access. Here's the code behind the compliance section, the prompts it uses for AI suggestions, and so on and so forth. And then you can also have over here a preview of the web that you're working with. And then we can switch right back to the prototyper. It should be wrapping up, and there you can see the code still building up as it goes. All right. Usually I do these demos with a much shorter demo, but Joe and Statement of Works and I have gotten to be very, very close to each other. While we're waiting, oh, there we go. It's just finished. All right. And then what I want to do is go ahead and take a look at the field. And now if I try to submit with the key activities and milestones, we also have validation messages. If I didn't put anything in there, it probably wouldn't accept the data in there. But let's go ahead and just generate a statement of work. Oh, it reset us. Test, test, test. There we go. Oh, there you can see some of the, you see how it's updated some of these to be required. So we'll just do that. And then we'll do here, it's just generate a statement of work. Come on. Up. See what it wants me to finish off here. Nope, I'm missing some things more to do. But anyway, I just want to kind of give you guys an idea what that looks like. Now, once we're done and we're happy with the prototype, we can go ahead and publish this out. And this will actually connect up to that Firebase instance. Hold on while it creates the project. It's actually just coming to here into the Firebase console and actually creating us a project itself. Let's see, I'll use my account for that. And then we'll go ahead and set up the services. And we'll let this publish out, and this will spend probably about 5 to 7 minutes to kind of push the application out to Firebase. And then you can kind of see how well we kind of plug in the backends and the like. So that's kind of the 20-minute view of Firebase itself. You can kind of see how that kind of works to kind of understand how that tool works. Any questions right now before I move on?
How did you
guys, go ahead.
The data connect? Like you actually pulled the information from the document and then created all that in Data Connect? It like pulled all that information in?
Yep. So once Data Connect, or once the application, once this application is up there, here we're ready to publish. Once we got the application in, what I'll be able to do is come in to for example, this piece and actually generate the data directly based on the application itself. So now I can go in. So this is an application I built before, which has little fire data. Create an application or create a data schema to support my fire lane app. Let's try that one here. Let's see if it does. Let's get started. And let's see if it's got, let me see if it's smart. It should be smart enough to realize that I'm asking for my my mapping application that I built for another demo. But it's going out, it's trying to figure out what I'm asking for. It's querying away. Let me take a look at this guy right here. Actually view the details of how this guy's going. Yeah, this guy is just deploying right now for the release. We'll come back to it. And here you can actually see all I told the schema to do was create a data schema to support my Firelane app. It only knew that I had a Firelane app in here. It was able to look at my Firelane app and see it was a medical and health application. So once we deploy this SOW Genius, we'll actually just have Data Connect say create a data schema for SOW Genius, and then it'll pull all the supporting that you need for this particular piece in.
Awesome, thank you.
Yep. And yeah, I know, like I said, we'll run that in a few minutes just so you can kind of see that in place. Hold on just a moment. Okay. All right. So, all right. So, any other questions besides Joe? Like I said, you guys can hop into this immediately if you wanted to. What I'm going to do now, let's see. I'm going to let this run in the background. I want to go back to and talk a little bit about AI Studio and what you can kind of do with some of the fun things we do with AI Studio as well. So I'm going to go and just grab let's see. Joe, I believe you sent me, let me see if I can find it, some images, I think. Let me see if I can find them real quick.
I sent you a products requirement document.
Yeah, let's see.
I don't know if that's going to work.
I got this guy. There's that guy.
That guy's kinda, but I did that guy and it doesn't it didn't do the flow right. Like it worked.
Oh, it didn't build this out.
It worked fine, but it did not make the flow correct.
Well, here, let's ask it real quick. Let's see if we can get it to give us what we want here. So let's copy this.
If you take that image and you put it with the requirements document, and you need to say, hey, I need you to marry these two and make me something new. Is that what you're going to do?
Yep, that's what I was going to do. Do you have that?
Okay.
See, let me get that requirements document.
I've hung around you too much, Andy.
Hey, well, you know where I'm going.
I've rewatched I watched the videos enough to become an AI of your brain.
Yep. Oh yeah. Let's see. Requirements. What did you send that to me as? For setup. You know what? Let's just do this. Let's how about this? Create a requirements document based on this image. And then let's just see how it does. And see what it thinks this is. And then what we wanted to do is create out a kind of an application flow. And then what we're going to do is going to break that down into how we can use application flows like this to build a full stack application. Now, one other piece I'm going to do, let's see here real quick. Let's see. I'm actually going to do this. Let's see here. Go. My thing's still going there. Let's bring up a new version of Gemini Cloud Assistance. All right, and I want to be the home and the users. And what we're going to do is, whoops, come on, come back to me. There we go. So Joe, what is this application going to be called when we get done with it? Let's see. Here it comes. There's our technical stack architecture. There's everything else. Okay. So Texas DMV Go.1.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Let's do this. So this took Joe's image, which was, it's pretty. I mean, that's pretty good for a straight up flow without a requirements document. We want to onboard. We want to have a chat AI interface. We want to be able to process some documents. And then we want to repopulate. So it gave us AI-powered mobile application to simplify and streamline vehicle title and registration process. All right, so I'm going to grab all of this. It's got the core features. It's got conversational AI. It's got some AI document processing, and it's got some form processing. So, and they figured out some non-functional requirements for us. Recommended a technical stack, and I'm just going to grab this. Come on over, and this is our Gemini. We're going to use Gemini Code Assist. So I am going to just straight up come into Gemini the command line. And this is fun. This is Joe. I only started playing with this last night, so okay. Bear with me here. So we're going to actually have it create this full application. Create the following application: file structure, functions, everything. That's all we're going to tell it, and then we're going to give it that whole thing that we just had, the back-end logic, the front-end logic, the whole thing. And we're going to tell it, just go ahead, just think about it for a while, and tell me what you're going to do. So here, it's going to look at the piece, it's going to map out the initial phases, and the cool thing about using code assistance to actually build an application from the start is you don't really have to worry about understanding the base core of the application. So here's the plan. Here's what I'm going to build. Just looking at it, it's actually going to put a Texas state flag in there, which I like. It says I will now begin scaffolding the application. Should I proceed? Yeah, go start building the application. And it's actually going to do everything for me. Yes, allow. It's going to bring in all the. It's going to be in React for us. It's going to build all the services for React. It's looking at the dependencies. It's going to build the file structure for us. It's going to set up the backend cloud services. And in about, I would guess in about 10 minutes of this, it will have everything ready and a stood up application. Now, while this is doing this, so we're going to let this thing kind of work. That's the cool thing about Gemini command line interface is you can set it up, and I've set it up, so that when it runs into roadblocks, it spends some time thinking itself around them, and you can let this thing go. and kind of work on your initial concept and really get rid of the technical blockades that go on. And at the end of this, we'll also work on, Joe will probably have to use your system or Ann's system to go ahead and show the install for how that's done. One of the other things I like to do when I build out an application is especially with using code assistants, is I like to make sure it's nice and built in little in not silos, but in kind of their own areas. For example, I've got in this particular SOW application I've been working on for Joe, I've got a back end that's built all in Node.js and Express. I've got a front end that's built in Angular in this case. I've got functions in Python in one place, and I got all my Terraform in another. Now, when I build it like this, it becomes very easy to use an AI interface. I have it build me the infrastructure, and then it will understand the context of all the files and know my back-end interfaces. I have it build the functions, and it will know all the requirements and all the code that I've actually got in these components. Now, let's see this cool thing here. Let's see, let's go, keep going here. Let me keep going. Right now, this is setting up all the project initializations, dependencies, UIs, and icons. So we'll let that keep trucking. Another cool thing, Joe, that I noticed, remember when we were running out of context? This new one actually has a gas gauge as you go through, which I thought really cool. And here, by the way, it's actually going to build us up all our dependencies. It's going to build us a directory for txdmv go. We're going to go ahead and allow that to do all that work, give it the rights to go and build out all the components. It's going to build us a navigation container, stack navigator, all the rest. Here's a good example. It ran into an error with doing an absolute file write. So it's fixing itself. And then I'm just going to say, yes, always allow. It's actually going to go through, rewrite the files it's building to build all this, and work around its error. Because at the end of the day, the maintenance of the application is going to be within Gemini Code Assist itself. So what we'll do is we'll let it build out the entire application. And while it'll be kind of a gray box, this is at the end of this build, that's when we'll bring in another tool. So Joe's very familiar with this one. I actually have something called what's called code modernization. So for example, let's see where we're at. Let's go into SOW Forge here. And then let me give me just a moment. I just need to pull up my old notes. And we are going to run something called code modernization. And I just need to make sure I got my right piece. Let me make sure it's also installed on this particular instance, because this is a different box. Give me a second here. Here, while I'm looking this up, we can kind of watch where this goes. All right. Oh wow! It will launch an Android emulator shortly. This initial prototype provides a complete. Once the build is complete, you can interact with the app in the emulator to experience a seamless conversational journey. All right. So let's see. So it ran this. All right. And then how do I run the emulator? See if it actually did that quickly. That was very quickly if it did that. This is demoing without a rope, guys, because here we go. All right, so it just wants me to download Android Studio and set that up. So, okay, so it wants to make sure the emulator is running. So this is actually building out an Android emulation. So let me do this. I actually have not done this before. So let's just download Android Studio. Just get that done real quick. Quick, it's 1 gigabyte. So we're going to come back to that in just a moment. Let that finish off. Yeah. So what this is doing, so to run the application, I'll need an Android emulator. But if we come into it, we can actually come in and refresh this, and we should see. Let's see. I was hoping to see the TextDMV structure, and I don't see it. We're in the user directory. Should have built out a full setup for it. This is going through all of Joe's code. Imports that. All right. The text is, let's be absolute. Where did it write your files to? Oh, there we go. It's still constructing the emulator guide too as well. So anyway, we'll come back to this in just a moment. But let's talk real quick about setting up a proper project. So I've built out this entire project. I've got this thing called CodMod. It basically what we do is, this is something that Joe has access to and we can share with you guys, is if you kind of want to understand your code, we have a way to build out a full code analysis as we go through. So what I'm going to do, give me just a second here. Hold on, let me mute my dog. Sorry, my dog was barking at delivery man. Okay. What I want to do is actually do a COD mod. So history, rep, mod. There we go. Let's see. That's what I want right there. So we're actually going to go ahead and build out this little report. Come here. Like that. And pitch you. Nope. Why are you missing? Oh. Hold on just a moment for me. Let's just do this. That guy there. Just grabbing down the latest version just to be sure we're on the right place. There we go. And now we come in and grab this guy. And you guys can download this. We're recording this now, and I can send out to Joe the actual pieces that we're doing here. But basically, we're just going to choose to analyze some code. All right. That's all right. Come on. Go and start. Well, I was expecting that to start up, so hold on a second. Okay, we'll let that figure itself out here in just a moment. You know what I do want to do though. Oh, there he goes. Now we're starting up. Okay, so this will take a few moments to kind of get through, and they'll build us out a full analysis of the code. So the cool thing is while this has been built without much of my input, it's still usable. So we need to find the SDK on the system. I finished installing the Android, so yes, go ahead and find it. Oh, here it goes. It's actually going to download the whole piece for me. Well, I didn't need to do that locally. So the cool thing is I thought I had to download the Android piece, but it's actually going to go ahead and download and do everything I needed to do. Let's see. Please open Android Studios. Let's get an exact path from Android itself. Okay. So we can ask it. I have Android Studio Local, but I want it on my cloud workstation. So this is just something I wasn't set up for an Android emulation. All right. So we'll come back to this in a little bit. Let's see how this is doing. This is still some of my code batches. Once you've got your code in place, then it becomes, how do you want to manage the code? So, for example, you can do it with the front end like Gemini. I primarily have been using AI Studio up until literally today. I actually have, for example, historical chats. Let me switch my cat to my history of my conversation to build out, for example, that SOW Forge itself. And this particular chat, for example, has the full context and history of what I've built out. Here, I'm actually asking it to build me out a diagram of the entire component. If I wanted to, I can ask it, what is the current state and summary of the application? This actually I've actually managed to drop all the code files into this particular chat. So it understands how the code relates to each other. When I do changes, because I just don't have an Angular front end, and I don't just have a Node Server.js backend. I also have Terraform scripts supporting backend services like Doc.ai and the like. It can be aware of all that, and then being able to change on the fly, becomes very important. Now, let's see. Let me let this finish doing its thinking. Almost done here. One other piece to note as well is that if you are trying to use an AI tool separately, like Gemini or AI Studio, as the token count goes up, as you approach like 300, 400,000 tokens, you might see behavior more like this, where it gets a little slow. One thing I do that really helps out is if I'm getting, see, this is nearing 300,000 tokens over here, is that I ask it, hey, summarize what's been going on. What are the troubleshooting steps we have? And we'll actually generate a document, and I can actually start a new chat based with just this document and some of the code files, and get my state back to where I want it. The beauty of that is it means that you don't have to you don't have to constantly work with an AI Studio that you might have dropped screenshots and log files into, or that you've worked with a lot of back and forth on particular troubleshooting issues. You can either branch them or even start fresh, allowing you to have a very responsive piece. Here, for example, I could actually branch from this particular piece and have a fresh start, and you get a much more responsive tool as you move through. Now, let's go over here and let's see how we're doing over here. We're almost done in this one. We're at 22 right now. So while it's doing, let me go here. Oh, no, come on, back to there. I want to say yes, always wget. Here it's actually installing everything for me for the Android emulator. Let's let that do its thing. And by the way, you've noticed that in all of this, I have not done anything except let the system kind of decide where it should go, what it should do, and then it's taking care of everything for me as we move along. And then what I really want to do is I want that to finish so I can show you how you can use a combination of tools to not only use vibe coding to build complex systems, but then have the tools necessary to understand those systems. And let's give that another minute or so. I know I've thrown a lot at you guys, so we've got probably another 2 minutes for this to finish off. Is there any questions so far? Since I know I'm moving quite fast with a lot of different tools. And this particular tool, we're going to actually have someone install. So don't worry about following along with that one.
Anyone have any questions besides me?
Or we're staring silently for 2 minutes at each other.
So Andy, right now you have the one thing is off building the Android look, right? So
Yep,
in one you have it's building whatever the Android emulator. whatever TXDMV Go is going to look like.
Yeah, exactly. So this is actually building a full emulator to host all that code, because what we sent it was basically we showed it, when we built it out. Where did we build it out at? I'm in the wrong here. I'm in the wrong caps. When we built it off the picture, we actually built it as a with a phone as a picture. So it assumed that we wanted to make this phone oriented. So that's why it's still going strong with that one. Let me go back to that build out. And we're at 61% of that guy. But this guy, I want to be done. This is the one I want to get done here.
This is the breakdown what the code is, right?
Exactly. And you and I have looked at this particular document before. In fact, you know what? I've got an older version of this document, so let's just pull that up since we're waiting for this guy. that we actually have an older SOW report, and I'll just throw that right in there. Come here. So basically, it's what you're going to see once it finishes building out is we'll give you a document that will give you the full purpose of the system, define who the primary users are, what the functionality looks like, as well as key user journeys, for all the functionality that we have with direct links in the code to where that functionality is. It will give you a full architecture of the components. This is actually a fairly simple architecture. I actually went and built out another version of this document, and this looks complex, but really all it is the full user journey. And this code was all written for me by the AI. I told it, give me a graph viz of the code, and this is what it did for me. And it pulled out the functions. It realized what pieces were deployed to Google Cloud and broke down permissions and what services I'm using. And then, I have the ability, if I want, to make it cleaner. This is computer generated, but then since this is all the code right here, I have the ability to go in and do what I want to make that more addressable and readable. In addition, where did I drop it? I dropped it somewhere. There it is. The code modernization piece is able to look at all the components, tell me what they actually do, where there's key challenges. This version was written before I did the security hardening. So I've actually addressed several of these points. That's another thing this tool lets you do as well, is take a look at your code that you're working with, and then analyze enough to know, hey, you need to probably take a look here or here to make it better. Does a full tech analysis for what every piece I'm using. Now, if you're running this against legacy code, we've ran that several times against Maxenzo code, against COBOL code. That also will come up here, tell you where there are opportunities for improvement and the like. Now, a whole open API, if I'm working with any type of data dictionary, I've got full data layers in place as well as files. And I can actually jump in. I'll actually parse apart every file I have and tell me exactly what the particular component or page is doing. And then some of the findings will tell me this initial version I was using, just to move quickly, local security files when I should have had them in a secrets manager in Google Cloud, things that I was able to take advantage of and turn around and make my code better. And I think this one might be stuck, but that's okay. Okay, are we done? Nope, we're at 88%. So again, Joe has access to those tools. It's something that I do recommend that you guys take a look at. When you run the tool, just the same thing that I was showing before. One thing to remember is that I probably should have ran this with the Flash model. This is using the default 2.5 Pro model. Sometimes they can get stuck doing that. It's actually pretty simple to run a different model. All you have to do is just do model. And I can just do Gemini 2.5 Flash. No way. As an example. Oh, hold on a second. Let me get that right. Model set. Model set. There we go. Oh, fine here. Do model set 2.5 Flash. Let's try that. Much better. And actually, what I'm doing now is I'm just rerunning it with a quicker, smaller model just to kind of get the output out quickly. So we'll let that run for a bit, and then we're almost here, 97%. There we go. Now we're in the last few seconds of it. So this is actually taking care of. It says, hey, to do this, you're going to need an emulator. It's actually taking care of that for me. And then it should actually provide me a web address where I can actually take a look at this particular piece. All right. Oh, no, not you. I want you. There we go. I'm going to find the piece and it's going to do the install for me. So, Joe, I think the next step right now, while we wait for this to kind of finish off, is we might want to go ahead and see if we can get you or Ann installed with Gemini command line. just because this might take a few minutes to finish off. Does that sound like a plan, or?
Yeah, that's fine. Let me just get where I need to be in the right.
Yep. And where you'd want to be is your Cloud Shell, or since you guys won't be using Cloud Workstation just yet, Cloud Shell is easy enough to use as well.
And let's see. So I just go to Google. I just in my. You want me to share my screen? Yeah.
Yep. Let's share your. Well, here, let me do this. Let me put this. Yes, share your screen, and then I'll put things in chat as we go along.
And I may not have access either. I'm not sure.
Well, we'll find out in here just pretty easily. So actually, your shell is right next between the bell and the present on the far. Or that too. There, you got it right there. Never mind. And then go ahead and authorize. Well, that's a good sign. You see how? Well, we'll open your. There's your editor, and then just log on in. And you know what we can do, Joe? Well, I'm thinking about it. I was going to do this anyway. Is get you access to my code. So I want to add someone. So I want to make this a public. Well, we'll figure that out in a second. Okay, good. All right, just mark this as done. We're not going to stay here long, so we're gonna verify you have. Yeah, just mark it all as done. We're gonna verify that you have Gemini Code access. If you go up to View in the File Edit Selection View, open View. Gemini Code Assist is down there, and then bottom third. Yep, around there. Let's make sure she signs in. You can close that blue one, by the way, the ones that's got it. Okay, good, perfect. That means you have a Google Cloud Assist account, which is what we're hoping for. All right, now go ahead and make this maximize size because we're going to stay in here for a second. Click on the Open Terminal in the upper right-hand corner. Yep, right there. Okay, let's first make sure that you're logged in. So do gcloud space auth gcloud space AUTH space login. You're already logged in, but I want you to see this as going through the recording. Go ahead and enter. That's fine. You hit yes, because I'm just making you walk through the process here. Now, if you hit Control and then click on that HTTP link, that should open another tab. It's a tab right next to yours. So up top of the tab list, over to the right. Yep, second one. Okay, choose your TextDMV account. Yep, that's continue. All right, put your password in for TextDMV. And then you're going to allow the SDK. Yes. And then just copy that token at the bottom. Okay, cool. Come back to your first tab. And then right click and paste. And that is how you verify at a terminal level. And then go ahead and hit enter. All right. Yeah, and you're already logged in that way. That's just kind of show you how that flows. All right. Now then, next step. Where did I put? So from here, go type in. I'm gonna put these in chat. And also probably quicker for me to talk you through them too. Here's our chat. Our chat's right here. Come here, chat. All right. So type in sudo apt install npm. And what you're doing here is you're installing the code that runs sudo or sudo. Sudo. There you go. Apt install npm. And these are packages that kind of just support some Node.js and the like. And then you want to continue. Yes, this is all just Node.js support. All right. You know, while this is going on, let's go back to that second tab, and we're going to use that as our AI Studio login. So just change the address to aistudio.google.com. Boom. Okay. Make sure you're signed in with your TextDMV account. Yep. Okay. Then go get API key. Yep. Perfect. And then this is set to the Gemini API project. We actually need to add a new one that's connected to your TextDMV account or to your TextDMV AI POC dev. So go ahead and create an API key. All right. See, why are you getting this too? You're not getting the TextDMV AI POC dev. All right, click on the Gemini API. All right, we've already got the Gemini API. Go ahead and close this. I'm gonna have to follow up on this in a bit. Oh, I'm sorry. I know what we can do. Here, I'll show you a workaround. I wasn't even thinking. All right, go to your cloud. Oh, I know what's going on. Go to your cloud workstation. You're on the first tab. I know what's going on. Okay, minimize this a little bit. On the top where it says Cloud Shell, put in API. And then API and services, yep. And then hit the plus on enable API and services. All right, and type in generative AI. Generative AI, hit it. And that Gemini API, that first guy. Enable that. All right, give that a second. Okay, we'll probably have to give it a minute to propagate. That was the problem. You weren't enabled for access. Okay, let's try. Let's see how quick it is. If we have to create it ourselves, we will. But let's go to the second tab, and then try that again. And then create API key and search. It might take a minute. That's okay. We just create ourselves too. So let's see. Go back to your first tab. I'll show you how to do this by hand. Go to the third item, credentials. Okay, and we're going to add an that's fine. Oh, you don't have rights to create a key. Well, shoot. Well, that's not good. We need Tram or Dorothy to give you PAM credentials for that. What you do is you actually can create the API key here by hand rather than use AI Studio to do it. Go back to AI Studio. Let's see if it resolved itself. We'll figure that out in a second. If not, we'll just take your Gemini API key for the moment. Okay. All right. Close this. That's fine. It just closed. Yeah, don't worry about that. We're not creating the API key. Close that. Go to the API key down below. I'm sorry. Oh, go back on the second tab. Okay. Here, before we do that, let's do this. Copy and paste what's in chat, which is an export Gemini API key. And then we'll put that key in there.
I'm going to copy it?
Yeah, just copy it. It's the easiest thing to do. And then just paste it right in there.
Right here or where?
Yeah, just right there.
Right here.
Right there.
Right there.
Okay. And then then at the beginning of it, put export Gemini API key equals. Don't need to worry about quotes.
Right. How do I go backwards?
Oh, just arrow. Yep. And type the words export space Gemini underscore capital Gemini capital. All capitals. Sorry. I don't know if that makes a difference, but it's Linux, so you never know. Underscore API, all capitals. Underscore key, all capitals. Underscore. Oh, you got a dash. It's an underscore. There you go. and equals. And enter. Okay, cool. And then just put this key, in there as well. Alias Gemini to that. Alias Gemini.
What?
Gemini equals Gemini. Yep. Equals quotes NPX noun particle. Yep. Space @ Google // There you go. Perfect. Gemini -CLI. Close dash. Back up. Dash C as in Charlie. LI quotes. Perfect. Okay. Rockin'. All right. Now, just to be sure, we should be logged in correctly. Let me put this in here. Do you see the chat coming in? You just copy that. Yeah, that's probably easier just copy. The NPX Google Artifact Registry off. If I'm going to have you do, oh, I'm sorry, here. Oh, we got to do one thing first. My bad. We got to do one thing first. Type this in. Touch. This is a hidden file that we need to do a couple things with. So touch space ~.mpmrc. Yep, there you go. Now do the NPX. There you go. Run that. See if it goes. That's fine. Yes. All right. Cool. Application default credentials. All right. Now, let's see. Do me a favor. Type in. Where'd it go? I feel like we missed a step here. All right. I'm going to copy this. See if that works first. We miss a step? I feel like we missed a step. Type in Gemini -P space -P. List the files in this directory. Oh, I know what we missed. I know what's going on. Yes. Oh, good. There it goes. Perfect. Rocking. There it is right there. And that is the Gemini client. Do you have any code installed in the, let's see, now this is our Cloud Shell.
I don't have.
No, very simple. We're just going to do that. We're going to do an interactive, and I'm going to have it build it for you.
Okay.
So what I would do now that we got this installed is I would actually open the editor, and I think we can do this. Oh, open the editor to the one to the, yep, right there. Then make that big. I think, can we add a terminal to the bottom here? It might make it a little easier. Okay, your concrete lead hub. Just right click on that and just, yeah, oh, there you go, new terminal. Perfect. All right, cool, perfect. There you go. All right, type Gemini. just at the command prompt. Yep, just type Gemini. If it's done installing, but it should be by now.
Come on.
Nope, it's not finished installing yet. Go back to your open terminal. See if it's done yet. All right. Oh, type Gemini here. We might just have a pathing problem. It should give you that same interface I had. There we go. All right. Choose how you want your flavor. So just up down arrow until you find something you like.
I'll just do Dracula. Just hit enter.
All right, there you go. All right, and then enter to select. Tell it create a Hello World app built with Angular and Fastify.
Angular and what?
And Fastify. It's a version of Node.js. F-A-S-T-I-F-I. Fastify. Oh, no Y. F-Y. There you go. Perfect. Yeah. And you can change the darkness or lightness of this too if you want to. But there you go. And that's the Gemini command line interface that you now have access to. Here's the planning. And then these commands will just say, hey, do you want me to always create directories? Do you want to tell me every time? Just depends how much control you want. I let mine roll. Yeah, just like that. And it's going to go out, build the foundation for a nice Angular Fastify app. And then, yes, you want to let it install. And just as you're seeing in mine, anything that you let it do, it's just let it go. So, Joe, what we need to do for everybody is we need to make sure they have that they have the generative AI or API enabled, and then make sure that they can log in using their DMV accounts, and then this will let them roll through. And this is going to build out a full hello world, and then should actually deploy and then give you at the end of it a website address for the full application.
Okay.
And now the cool thing here is from here, once it finishes deployment, that's when you can start saying, add a page to do this functionality, add a connection to a Firestore or Cloud SQL or BigQuery in the back. And it will actually build out and be aware of everything as you build out. This kind of takes the best parts of AI Studio and really brings in more context, like the Gemini Code Assist with the Gemini Code Assist components.
So you know how you were kind of showing us how to do this. You like stair step your way into things.
Yep.
And you had these different prompts that you would feed to the AI prototyper.
Yep.
If there were if I had, let's say, an app, which I do, but I'm not going to put it here. Let's just say I had an app, the TXDMB Go thing, and we just built it a step at a time. You would just enter a similar type of prompt here, and then hit go, and then it would basically. So this is the same interface as the Firebase Studio.
It's the same interface. Yeah. So this is kind of how Google's been doing these AI pieces. Some of them come from Google corporate. Some come from Google DeepMind, which is the research group that started all the AI components. This is a version from Google DeepMind. So this represents kind of our best programmers and our best research scientists coming together to build a functional application that fits well into a programmer's workflow. So up until now, Gemini Code Assist was what we're using to kind of put us up against GitHub Copilot, Microsoft Copilot, but that way has limitations. Oh, there you go. And so now you just follow the instructions, open two terminals. So you just need to see that plus sign up above next to Cloud Shell.
Hold on.
Up where it says text DMV, down.
Yeah. Plus sign.
There you go. Yep, do two. Open one more, and then open one more.
Okay.
Okay. Go back to your first go back to your first shell, and it has the instructions. To run the application, you need to go into the Angular Fastify Hello World directory. So just follow those instructions. See the first terminal.
In the first terminal, I'm here.
Okay.
Oh, I need to open
the instructions. Go down to the instructions.
Here.
Yep.
First, open two terminals. I did that. In the first terminal, run.
Yep. There you go. Perfect. So just go in the first, technically the second tab.
Oh, I put this in this tab.
Yep. There you go. And then go run the 2 instructions it has. You can probably copy the whole thing because you can run those one right after the other. Yeah, just copy that and dump it. And paste and run. Oh, it has that damn 3 in there. Hold on. And that's irritating. Okay, just, yeah, do them one at a time. Well, I'm gonna have to yell at somebody about that. Oh, hold on. Let's see, what's it's thinking? No, it's giving you an error there. Go back to that first terminal. Oh, it's warnings. I'm sorry. You're right. You're good. They're just warnings. Okay, and then run the npm start. There you go. Oh, it's already okay. Did it already start it? It shouldn't have already started it. Says that address is already in use at 3000. Who started? Okay, well, assume that's running. Let's just go to the second one.
Oh,
maybe
go here. Let me show you this right here.
Oh, it did it for us. That's why. That's my fault. I didn't expect it to do it for us. It did it for us. Oh, hold on. Couldn't connect to a port on server. Go back to your first. Go back first. You can always just copy that and say, here, copy this before going back and say, hey, this told me this.
Hold on.
Yep.
What do you want me to do?
Okay. Yeah, we haven't started yet. That's why. Okay. We do have to run this. So go to the third tab and put those directions in.
All right. Where are I have these directions.
Yep. That's the third. This is for the front end. Okay. Start that. Okay. npm install and npm start. And just, yeah, and npm start. Okay. Hit no. All right, building out our files. Okay, grab all these errors and just dump them on them. Dump them into the copy, and then take that to your Gemini CLI and say, hey, this all went kaputty. I'm sorry, to back in the first tab. There you go, and just put those right there in your messages, and enter. Let it fix itself. And it just tells you what it did wrong, and it's fixing it right up. We'll give that just a moment. Well, that's doing that. Let me check on mine.
How's this stuff doing on your end?
I was waiting for me to tell it that it's ready to rock and roll here.
Is it ready?
Error failed. No, error failed to launch emulator. Come on, I want this to be done so we can see. Like, I want to see this TM. Now I want to see this TXDMV code.
Please try running the application again. All right.
Okay.
So
all right. So just go back to your first tab and then, or your third tab. Excuse me. Go to third tab. Hit, and then just hit up arrow once. And start her up. Let it build. Let's see what it says. There you go. All right, now click on, now do a control click on that local host 4200. There you go. It's in our second tab. There's our client. Okay, go back to your first. I don't think the back end's running. Go to the second tab for me. Yep. And then here, I'll put this in here. PS aux script. And then look for this. All right, type in PS dash space aux auxiliary PS space. There you go. Run that. All right. Do me a favor. Grab it. Grab the error from where it says 127.0.0.1 3000 up to level 50. I was hoping I'd see it immediately here, but I don't. So if you go up, it's like above. It's like right in the middle of your screen. Up, down, 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 down. We're trying to grab the error, the address already in use. Kind of where it says level 50.
Yeah, I need my glasses.
That's all right. Do this then. Just do npm start and then see it should give it to you again. Give you the error again. Yeah, do an npm start. Okay, there you go. Now grab that last error. And just Control C and then drop that in the chat in the first part. It should tell us what to do. And enter.
Let me find my glasses.
And then you want to allow that when you come back.
And then what? We're waiting. Oh, allow everything.
Yep, just allow it. And then yes, always. It's just trying to install a few things. Yes, allow it to kill. All righty. All right. Go ahead and go back to that second tab. And now you should be able to start it. And just hit the up arrow.
The second tab or the third tab?
Second tab. You're in the right place. Hit start. Right place. Well, it just does not like you, does it?
No.
All right. Grab it one more time. Still doing it. Yeah, tell it it's still doing it. And then paste that in there. Yep.
You want to move because we're about to run out of time. You want to move to your world? See what it's done, or are we still both in the same process?
No, I'm still in the same process. It's still going away. Let's see. Oh, good. He's changing the port on it to 3001. Okay, good. All right, now you can try starting it. You should be in a different port. All right, second one, and now start it. npm start. Just hit up arrow and be fine. Hey, there you go. All right, now because we moved the port, we need to restart the client. So go to this third tab, hit Control C, and then rerun it again. And that's just so it attaches to port 3001. Okay, and now click on that localhost 4200. Control click. And it's the second tab. Oh, it said world. But basically the client is coming from the client side, world is coming from the back end. And then from there, you can start adding pages away, just basically showing you that it's got a full Angular deployment out there now, just to give you an idea of what it can do.
Okay.
And there you go.
Thank you.
Yes, and that gets you the command line interface. Mine's still going because it's trying to figure out how to run this emulator. So I don't know if it ever will, but we'll let it keep going. Other than that, I guess is there any questions from anyone else out there? Or are they kind of dealing with their deployment issue?
Well, I don't know if they are or they're not, but I'm going to ask them some questions so I can. Anne or maybe Vivek. Vivek, you're new to the conversation, or Priscilla. What have you seen so far, Vivek, that would be beneficial for you as far as the environments that you've seen? Because I know you came in a little late. I'm just wondering.
Yeah, so looks like we have this agent doing most of the setup and getting all the files ready, and you don't have to worry about all this dependency management and stuff like that. Pretty cool. Yeah, we'll have to see if we can get some work done, or real world application on this tool.
Yeah, and I think the big thing is we just need to make sure you guys have, if you're looking to do development, we need to get Tram involved just to make sure you have the right APIs enabled, and then we'll be able to get you guys going.
Right.
Now, who
I think
and
we
where
need to
do
get
we?
all the CLI permissions and everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who do we
Well,
have
I know,
here
for
that's
example,
from Sean's side? Sean Knox's side.
Yeah, myself, comma,
Hey,
and
come on.
Malati. Yeah.
The CD, the one that Andy showed that kind of broke down the entire tech stack and kind of made a. Andy, could you share that again?
Yeah.
Wondered if you could tell us what you think about this particular tool.
Okay, hold on just a second. So this is after the deployment of the tool. Takes, I guess, about 10 minutes for it to run. Hold on a second. Where did I put you? We were just looking at it. Here it is. Let me share my screen again. And share screen. Just the entire darn thing. Okay. So this is our scanning tool. I've actually pointed this at a system I developed for Joe. That's a multi-tiered Angular Node.js system, connects to Doc AI, connects to backend SQL databases, and ingests PDFs and turns them into full statements of work. So the code list, file count in this particular one is only about 110 files with about 70,000 lines of code. I ran this actually last week. It goes through, all you do is you point it at a code base. It goes through the code, kind of figures out what's the core functionality, what is it actually doing. Gives you links directly to where it pulled this information from. So this will actually go to my code base directly to a particular piece. Once it then goes through several tasks, it'll build out full architecture diagrams showing you how the components kind of flow together. It'll break down each of the components, the technologies behind them, what's going on between for communication ways. Tells you more, breaks down as much as possible information about the code base. In addition, it could do a tech survey for you. So if you have a legacy code base, for example, and again, we've ran this against some internal D&V code, such as Maxenso code and the like. The AI is smart enough to realize what's looking at. This is all Google code because I built a Google app. But if you have a Java app, if you have a COBOL app, if you have a JOBOL app, works just fine. It will examine all the APIs and endpoints, give you an open API spec if you have some type of service manager that takes that in. In addition, we'll break down, the data dictionary for the code, anything involved that's defined in the code. It doesn't yet go into a actual live SQL instance and pull the schema, but if you have DDLs or if you have schema information in code, it will pull that in and help build out the relationship map that way. If you have C and Java, C# or Java, will actually break down the classes. This is not a Java app. This is a TypeScript app. And then it will also break down files, what exactly they do. For example, if I hop into something like what a particular set of pages is doing, it's actually able to understand, roll them up, give you a summarization of what's going on. The assessments, this is an older version that I used before what I did my security hardening. So I was able to analyze the code I built to get the functionality up, and then says, oh, okay, well, you need to do this, this, and this to handle any security issues. Here's some of your modernization challenges where you have hard codes, where you have weird dependencies. And then you have opportunities to do some modernization. Now, since this is already a Google Cloud application, within this one, the modernization opportunities aren't as much. And if you're pointing at code that is not cloud-based, or that is on a legacy or sitting on someone's desk, it'll actually give you the options for doing migration, whether you want to do just a straight lift and shift, or if you want to modernize your code. If you want to modernize your code into containers, we'll tell you how you need to break that up, what you need to do. If you want to move it to Cloud Run, this is actually, the current application already uses Cloud Functions. Whether you want to move a couple other things, that's up to you. But if you have legacy code, this becomes quite detailed as it moves through, and we'll give you a detailed migration plan as well.
So Andy, here's
my
my next question would be: you use the Firebase inside Firebase Studio. So if you go back there, now go to the platform, the terminal.
Hold on just a second. This is, by the way, I had told it while we were waiting to build out the data structure behind that statement of work. This is what it built, by the way.
Okay.
All right, all ready to go, as it were. And then here, I'll let this off, and then we'll go back to the front end to show the analysis.
Yeah. So the question I'm asking is, if someone were a QA, where would they do their work? Let's just say if they're in QA and they're having to do analysis of I don't know what they do, so I'm just guessing. Tell us what you would do and how, maybe where somebody who's in QA that needs to do testing of the code, where they would go and how they would utilize it.
So this is actually Crashlytics, and Crashlytics is for real-time monitoring of items for example. But we also have a whole bunch of other types of testing and analytics support. So, for example, you can view latest release information, what functions have been pushed out using Google Analytics. Hold on a second. Let me enable Google Analytics for that. Which will get you down as deep as you want to go. So finish that. It's a Firebase app. So when I run these analytics, for example, I can build out a Blaze plan, which is building out testing, unit testing, stress testing, whatever I want to do against a particular code base.
Suppose some functional testing. Suppose if I want to do some whatever security authentication and all that you showed. So if I change some username, password, something, if I want to validate, how to do that?
Yeah. So if you want to validate, say, for example, if you want to do a security scan, you can do that. Would be under the Crashlytics for this particular, for using Firebase Store. I will say one piece they have here that helps with that is you can actually rely on Firebase Studio itself to implement. Go away, Gemini. I don't care about you. To actually implement sign-in using already provided patterns. So if you work with Identity Platform, you can actually integrate directly for single sign-on. We have various templates to add for multi-factor and authentication, especially if you're building a constituent-faced application. You can actually have SMS verification immediately added in, various types of validation, whatever you need. And then you can actually see how people are using the application itself with these various methods as well. In addition, there's a whole bunch of extensions from the marketplace for different types of authentication, whichever works best, especially if you're authenticating, say, for example, dealers versus customers, as an example. And then and this also has the advantage that if you want, we also implement A/B testing. So if you want to use two different types of authentication to see which one works better, you can actually come in and actually run this as an A/B testing with different types of plugins and functionality to see which way actually makes the app work better moving forward.
For some service testing, for UI testing, like creating a title or some web service validation, all that pretty much we are doing here.
Once you've deployed it, yes. So using Firebase Studio, you'll build out your interface. You'll be able to use sample data, be able to kind of understand how it flows together. But then you're able to publish it out into the actual, into the console itself. And then from the console, be able to not only add various bits of back-end connection components and the like, but also be able to kind of understand what the application is doing. Sorry, I've been talking straight for 2 hours, so my things are going here. So that way you can kind of see directly, you can see where your user base is coming from, you can understand what's going on with the application at a fairly deep level. This is real-time analytics. There's also deeper, especially using Google Analytics itself, being able to go in, understand who's using the application, break them down, get more data from them, understand what functions they're calling, being able to see in real time if there is something going wrong with the flow as live as it goes. And all of this is supported. We also have little bits of AI to also help out to kind of understand your application, understand how to use it, and the like. We got about 2 minutes left, guys. So this one, if you want, we can actually walk through in a separate session. We can actually, there's actually a sample application in here. Actually, the one we built is actually pretty good too. That allows us to add it, that we can walk through and can show you how this is built out. So, for example, I can add in, this is where I can add in to this little app that we built. Ready to go, not just a Firebase web app, but also add in iOS. If we have a developer login, we can directly deploy immediately to iOS. We have Android, straight web publication. If you use Flutter at all ready to go.
And through this we can
go ahead.
And through this we can generate the reports too, right? For testing purposes, any reports we need to generate.
Yes, yes. Also, yeah, if you come into the Crash Analytics, it actually has access to. Unfortunately, I don't have any ready to go right now. Here, let me just do this real quick. I'm just going to do, and then let's see. The business objectives, save. Okay, and then save. With analytics itself, I'm just trying to see. You have various types of reports that you can use from. This particular one we're looking at is designed for front end constituent facing deployment. If you're looking for more back end, within TextDMV, those would be different types of reports that you'd add. But
so we are looking for UI reports on it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that would be this. That would be user behavior.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
And then, like, if I choose this template for user behavior, And then this is the information you get here. And then of course, this is just a dashboard. You can always generate this as full reports and do a report snapshot if need be too. Okay, guys, I apologize. I have something scheduled at 3 o'clock. As always, please pass any questions you have to Joe. Joe will probably want to do just a straight up Firebase demo if anyone's interested in that, probably in about 2 weeks when all of us are back in place again.
That sounds good.
Yep. But then I'll be around tomorrow, and then 4th of July, and we're both gone. But yeah, if you have any questions on the Gemini command line, just give me a shout.
Okay. Thank you so much, Andy. Thanks everybody for coming.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.